Alright, our next set of prepositions are between and among. And this is very simple to remember. Between, you always relate it between two people, and if it's more than two people, you go ahead and place among, right? So for example, the money is shared between Ram and Shri. The money is shared among Ram, Shri and Praveen. Alright, so it's as simple as that. So we're going to look at a couple of more prepositions, but someone's going to help us today, which is the newest addition to our family, Sunny, the birdie. Okay, so we're going to hear, or you are going to hear, a story of Sunny and me. Okay, and then we're going to learn a couple of other prepositions as well. So let's get started. Now, while I was walking along the road one morning, I found Sunny, the birdie, in the middle of the road. He was hurt and tired, so I gave him a bottle cap of water to sip from. Suddenly, my phone rang and he happened to love the sound of my ringtone. His wings started to flutter and he perched himself on my shoulders. I loved him that very moment. I knew then he was soon going to be family, one of us. Now let's understand the application of certain prepositions from these sentences. When I was walking along. So here along denotes following the length of the road, along the road. Okay. I found Sunny the birdie in the middle of the road. Now, there off denotes location. Where did I find him? In the middle of the road. He was hurt and tired, so I gave him a bottle cap of water to sip from. Here, this of denotes measurement. Yeah, like a cup of milk, right? Suddenly my phone rang and he happened to love the sound of my ringtone. Now this of denotes possession. It's my ringtone, my phone, right? His wings started to flutter and he perched himself on my shoulders. I loved him that very moment. I knew then he was soon going to be family, one of us. Now this of here denotes a member of a group. So he was going to be a part of our team, our family. Alright? One day, Sunny started to spread his wings and fly under the trees to begin with, and later he flew above the tallest building in my neighborhood. I thought it was his greatest achievement after the fall. And after that, Sunny was just uncontrollable. One evening, he flew into the kitchen and toppled the turmeric powder. No secret, he changed into this yellow ball of cotton. It was so funny and we all had a good laugh. Now let's understand a couple of prepositions here as well. In the second line, under there represents or denotes beneath. Like for example, I could say, where's my water bottle? Your water bottle is beneath the desk, which means it's under the desk, right? Or under the desk. Here, above means higher than or over, right? And then here in this sentence, one evening he flew into the kitchen and toppled the turmeric powder. So into here denotes to the inside of. Right? But here, no secret, he changed into this yellow ball of cotton. Into here denotes a change of condition. So do you see the difference in this into in this context and this into? Right? Alright, let's continue with the story. Well, I always feed Sunny by 8 o'clock in the morning. Did you know bird food is cheaper by the dozen? And my favorite time pass is to see Sunny fly by my window every morning. Sometimes I have to keep him off the bed, fearing I might squash him by accident. There is a park off my house and Sunny loves the park. But I always wanted to have a house by the sea, and I know Sunny would have loved that too. My favorite coffee shop lies between my office and my home. Let's understand the application of these prepositions here. I always feed Sunny by 8 o'clock. So here by denotes not later than. So I feed Sunny by 8, not after 8, right? That's the maximum. By 8 o'clock, Sunny is fed. Bird food is cheaper by the dozen. Here by represents in units. Yeah? My favorite time pass is to see Sunny fly by my window every morning. Here, by represents past. Somebody just passed by. So let's say my friend waved as he drove by my house. So somebody just passed by. Sometimes I have to keep him off the bed. Here, off represents not on and, away from. Yeah, so I had to keep him away from the bed. There is a park off my house. Here, off represents at a distance from my house. Yeah. And in this line, by, I always wanted to have a house by the sea. So here, by represents near. I want to have a house near the sea. Here, my favorite coffee shop lies between my office and my home. Here, between denotes an intermediate location. Okay, let's continue with the story. My office is very close to my home. All I need to do is just walk a kilometer and turn to the right, and there it is. From Monday to Friday, my work is hectic. In our monthly newsletter at work, there is a boring heading above each section, and footnotes are provided below the text. I imagine Sunny's picture on the side, and that thought entertains me. Well, the next thing you know, to add animation or not was the subject under discussion at work. Let's understand the application of these prepositions. Well, here, to, all I need to do is walk a kilometer and turn to the right, and there it is. So to denotes in the direction of. From Monday to Friday. Here, to denotes until. From Monday till Friday. So it denotes until. In our monthly newsletter at work, there is a boring heading above each section. Here, above denotes earlier on the page. And footnotes are provided below the text. So below denotes something that is later on the page. Here, the last line, the next thing you know, to add animation or not was the subject under discussion at work. Here, under denotes in circumstance of. So, in the circumstance that, the newsletter was getting very boring, they started discussing to add animation to make it more colorful and lively for the readers, right? So, under here represents in the circumstance of. Okay, let's continue. I thought I'd take a break and go to my grandparents' house to spend the weekend. But just before leaving, I remembered Sunny's food was over, so I ran to the shop to get some bird food. Now, the next door neighbor's cat was curious about Sunny. I saw him several times over the past week trying to catch Sunny. When I got back from the shop, I saw the cat chase after Sunny. Wanting to save Sunny from the cat, I jumped over a puddle but fell. Let's understand the application of these prepositions. Here, to in the first line represents, destination. But here, to denotes in order to. So, in order to get the bird food, I ran to the shop. Here, over, I saw him several times over the past week. Over represents during. During the past week. Okay? And here, after represents in pursuit of. When I got back from the shop, I saw the cat chase after Sunny, or the police were chasing after the robber in pursuit of. Wanting to save Sunny from the cat, I jumped over a puddle but fell. Here, over represents across. I jumped over the cat, or I jumped over Sunny, just to make sure I didn't fall and, hurt either Sunny or the cat. Yeah? Let's continue with the story. Later in the afternoon, I made plans over the telephone to go visit my grandparents. My grandparents live up the hill. It took over an hour to reach my grandparents' house. While leaving the house, I had to spread an extra blanket over the bed as the bed was filled with Sunny's droppings. We traveled by car, and as soon as we reached, I ran up the stairs. Sunny came with me. Let's understand the application of these prepositions. Here, over in this sentence denotes by means of. My grandparents live up the hill. Up the hill. Up there represents in a higher place or in a higher location. It took over an hour to reach my grandparents' house. Over here represents or denotes more than. While leaving the house, I had to spread an extra blanket over the bed. Again, here over represents covering. Over the bed, covering the bed. We traveled by car. Here by represents through the means of. How do you travel to work? I travel by bus, through the means of. As soon as we reached, I ran up the stairs. Here up represents to a higher place. And in the last sentence, Sunny came with me. With represents accompany. Sunny accompanied me. Yeah, let's continue with the story. My grandfather presented me a keychain with Sunny's picture on it. The picture seemed to come off, so I stuck it with glue. Sunny liked the keychain and with great difficulty tried lifting it with his beak. I was jumping with excitement looking at Sunny. What I loved about my grandparents' house was there were cupboards over the sink stocked with goodies, easy to reach and grab a bite. There were cupboards also below the sink. Let's understand the application of these prepositions. Here in the second line, my grandfather presented me a keychain with Sunny's picture on it. With denotes containing. The picture seemed to come off, so I stuck it with glue. Here, with denotes using. Using glue, I stuck it. Sunny liked the keychain and with great difficulty. There, with denotes the manner. If it was I would have lifted it with ease. But because it was Sunny, the birdie, it was with great difficulty. With his beak, again, with here means using his beak. I was jumping with excitement looking at Sunny. Here, with denotes because of. Why was I jumping? Because I was excited looking at Sunny. And here, over. What I loved about my grandparents' house, there were cupboards over the sink. Over the sink meaning higher than. Or above. And there were cupboards also below the sink. So below here means lower than. Or under. Let's continue our story. My grandparents love sports. They prefer basketball to football. I like to play basketball too. My first basketball, my grandfather gave it to me. We all know B comes between A and C in the alphabet, like Q comes after P. But what you don't know is that my grandfather always gives away presents between 10 and 15 people in his neighborhood. The money was shared between him and my grandma. Let's understand the application of these prepositions. They prefer basketball to football. So here, to denotes compared with. So compared to football, they preferred basketball. I like to play basketball too. There, it's a part of an infinitive, right? We remember infinitive, to plus verb. So the next to is part of an infinitive. My first basketball, my grandfather gave it to me. This to here is with an indirect object, me. We all know B comes between A and C. So that between there denotes an intermediate in a series. Okay. And like Q comes after P, there after denotes later in a series. Here, this between, what you don't know is that my grandfather always gives away presents between 10 and 15 people. This between denotes an intermediate amount, 10 and 15. And the last sentence, the money was shared between him and my grandmother. There, between denotes within a group of two. So the money was shared between Ram and Hari. So when there's two people, we say between. Okay, let's continue with our story. My grandfather is good in mathematics. He's one person who takes time to share his knowledge among all the kids. He's also good at English and history besides mathematics. Under 75 kids were always present for his sessions. I enjoy his sessions and I love to sit beside him. As a Christmas gift, I thought I'd host a special program between Christmas and New Year's Day for my grandparents. Of course, Sunny would be the hero of the program, but let's understand the application of these prepositions. Now here, among denotes more than 2 or 3 people. So, for example, he shared the money between Ram and Hari. He shared the money among Ram, Hari and Pradeep. So I use between when it's within a group of 2 and I use among when it's more than 2 or 3 people. He's also good at English and history besides mathematics. So here besides denotes also or as well as. So he's good at English and history as well as mathematics, or also he's also good at English and history besides mathematics. Okay. Here, under 75 kids were always present for his sessions. Now, when there is a large number of people and you want to give an approximate amount, you're counting and there's, it's not going to be over and above 75, then I will use under 75 kids. So here, under means less than. So if there's a large number of people present for a meeting, I know approximately there's about 100, but not more than 100. So I'm sure it's kind of less than 100. So then I'll say under 100 people were present for the meeting. Okay. I enjoy his sessions and love to sit beside him. Now here, beside denotes next to. So you see the usage of beside, it changes its meaning based on the context. As a Christmas gift, I thought I'd host a special program between Christmas and New Year's Day. So here, between denotes an intermediate time. So we kind of saw the applications of some of the prepositions in various contexts and how their meanings changed accordingly. So thanks to the newest addition in the family, Sunny the birdie, who helped us with all these prepositions, and I hope you remember to apply them. However, let's test our learning and application through some exercises now.